welcome to our this week's live Q&A session. It's great to be here with you, and this is the Pride edition, so happy Pride Month, everyone. It is a truly a privilege to be doing this work with you. So we have some amazing questions today, and let's get into it. How can I support my LGBT family members when I don't know what to say to them and I worry how the rest of the family will react? Okay, so a lot of us can have lesbian, gay, bi, trans family members, queer family members. We sometimes, if the family hasn't been able to kind of come to terms with things, or come to terms with people being different, it can be really difficult to support these family members, because there's almost like a reactionary piece coming from other people in the family. So there can be all these dynamics where we can't truly be there, like fully kind of engaged and supportive of our LGBTQ plus family members. And I just want to validate that. That's a real problem. That's a real challenge that we can feel, that we are kind of in between two worlds. And the first thing has to be, you being clear about what it is that you're willing and are not willing to do. A lot of people who don't necessarily get this whole discrimination piece, I guess the archetype of the person who's inverted commas never been discriminated against, at least not in a very structured way, where it's a systemic way of Clifford, please don't be a part of this video. Thank you. Okay, go on. Good boy. Apologies for that. So if you haven't experienced racism or sexism or discrimination against your gender identity or your sexual orientation, then it's very difficult to actually get what it is. It's so easy to overlook these issues and say, well, because I don't experience them, they don't exist. But of course, that's not true. You can have different opinions about things. You can say, for myself, this is how I live my life. So you might say, okay, so for myself, I relate to being a straight person, so I'm going to go and do this. That's an opinion. That's about an opinion about my life. But there's a difference between having an opinion about something and actually denying basic human rights. And that's something that we need to look at. Even in a family, you might have your parents have let's just say that your sibling is gay and your parents don't accept them. A really good argument, and I'm not suggesting to get into arguments about this, but if we look at like debate, a good argument would be, well, it's not a question of opinion. You seem to think that it's a question of opinion, what this person, how they identify. It's not actually like that. It's, when you question this person's identity, you're actually questioning their right as a human being to express themselves as the person that they are. So opinion, just because you think this is in a certain way, doesn't actually equate to the human rights piece that goes with it. So that's a good thing to remember, is to be really clear on, look, we're not talking about opinions here. We're talking about basic human rights of my brother or my sister to have the right to live the life that's right for them. So you were asking, how can you support your LGBT family members? The main thing is to ask them. Ask that person, how can I support you best? Because they might not be comfortable having that conversation with your parents if it's your brother or sister, or if it's any other gender identity that you might relate to. So ask that person, ask them, how can I support you? And that generally tends to open up that conversation in a lot more productive way, because they've probably already thought about what they are and are not able to and willing to do with your family. So ask them and tell them how much you appreciate that they are living the life that's right for them and that you want to support it. So I hope that's helpful.